So, welcome back, Stephen. Welcome back, Admin 399 students. In today's video, we're going to be discussing literature reviews. Specifically, we're going to be talking about what constitutes an academically valid literature review, where to do that literature review, and what to expect in terms of good sources. So, Stephen, could you give us a few thoughts on this topic around literature reviews and what you've seen be successful and what stumbling blocks you've seen for students in the past?
So Google is huge, and there's tons of sources, and there's Google Scholar, which is a way to help find academic sources. I would recommend not using Google. As students
At all?
At all.
At all.
As students at Selkirk, part of your tuition pays for licenses and grants you access to the academic source databases that are held within the library, within the Selkirk Library.
How do we access that?
Library.selkirk.ca and start your search from that front page. And you can refine that search, and there are librarians whose entire job is to help you find those sources you need to refine that search.
Now, come on, a librarian's a pretty busy person. Do they really have time to help us out with this sort of thing?
That is what they're there for. And I would also say, though, that after doing your library research practice log and spending just a little bit of time on that library database website, you'll pretty quickly figure out how to navigate yourself to narrow your search field by adding a few and qualifiers. You know, I want to search restaurants and Canada and productivity, for example.
So is the library database just one great big pile of papers, or is it organized at all to make it easier for me?
It's organized, and you can set your parameters on what you're searching for, whether you're looking for academic journals, so a peer-reviewed academic journal. You know, if we're talking about productivity of wait staff in restaurants, there will be journals where there's scientific studies about productivity and human resources. It's you can search by sort of more pop culture journals, Harvard Business Review or Time or Inc. magazine, for example, that will have less academic types of sources, but still valid sources that are well done. It will pick up published books that have been written on that sort. And you can sort through the types of sources that you want. The main thing that you'll find with any source that you derive through the Selkirk library system is a source that your instructors would consider academically valid. The challenge with using Google is that you might find that same source within Google or Google Scholar, but you might also find sources that are not academically valid.
So hang on a tick. My little brother runs a gourmet food blog in Taipei, and he's got tens of thousands of followers, and they all trust him completely. Is that not a trustable source?
So blogs and those personal pieces like that are a difficult one, because it might be a great source. It might be really well researched. I don't know that, and your instructors don't know that. So what we have to default to is something that has been published and validated. And so the stuff that we would find through the Selkirk library system is trusted and validated. If you've got individual questions about individual sources, those examples, have a conversation with your instructor and we can review it. It might be worthwhile. The general advice would be to avoid those types of things. There are millions of blogs and opinion-based things are like the nose on your face. Everyone's got one. Doesn't make it special.
So tell me for a second, you talk about peer review. Could you explain exactly what that means?
So some topics that are researched will be studied extensively, and findings are made. So we're studying productivity in wait staff in restaurants, and researchers have done some research and done this study. Before that article is published in the academic journal, it is sent to their peers, to other researchers, to review, to check what the methodology was like. Is this valid? Is this something that is repeatable, and do we agree that this is valid, appropriate academic research?
So essentially something that follows the scientific method.
It follows the scientific method. Now, in this course, and a lot of the topics we'll be talking about, you're not necessarily always going to find peer-reviewed journals. Peer-reviewed stuff tends to be more on the scientific side, and so if your topic involves some of that scientific research, and scientific research can include those management practices and productivity and things like that, it's not required that you have to have peer-reviewed academic sources, although those are usually the best of the best because they have been validated by multiple experts in the field. What we really want to have is academically sound, valid sources that you find through the Selkirk Research Database.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Stephen.
Excellent, thanks.